welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour, except for when I was up on a mountain last night and couldn't do the show up there. So we're going to do the show this morning. I think we're smashing into Travis's show, but whatever. He's been on for an hour, so I'm going live. So we go live on Fridays to wrap up the week, and that's what we're going to do. So we're going to open up the description of this video over here. I don't think anybody's going to join us today since I'm kind of going rogue in the middle of the morning like this. But if you do, say hi and let me know how the audio is working. It sounds like it's working okay, though. Oh, I guess I'm not screen sharing. So should we leave the puppy on or should we screen share? Let's leave the puppy on. All right, so let's go through it. We've got some description. We have some notes in the description of this video. So if you're listening to this on the YouTubes or on the Rumble or on the guntube.org or on the UTG tube or on the Ultreon, I don't really put stuff on there too often, but wherever you're listening to it, feel free to be part of the conversation. Feel free to be part of the conversation by leaving some comments out there. And looks like we got some people showing up live. Crappy Turtle's out there. Good evening. And Agrizer. Hope you'll come down here in a minute. All right, so let's see. I was opening up the Substack over here. You can sit back down. You can just stay setting up. All right, so I'm going to head over to my Substack, and I'm going to post everything over there as we're going here, and I don't remember which buttons to push. And then I'll use that as my notes. What is going on? I guess I have to move stuff over. Oh, I'm not even screen sharing, so let me show you how frustrating it is for me on this end of the line. I guess Puppy's going back to sleep. I'll bring Puppy down underneath of here, the Puppy cam, and see, so we got the description of this video over here, but we're about to cram it over into whatever this is called, Substack. I'm looking for my dang button. Where's my dang button? Move that over. There's my button. All right, so this stuff would normally be done off air by a professional thing, but I call this a workshop. You can see how you can do things. So I just took my description from there. I took this subtitle and put it there, and then I grab all of this. Come on. I grab all of this. Come on. Why is it being a pain? See how difficult it is for me to put this together? And then I grab all of this and I drag it over there, right? And now I'm going to take all of this. Here's the whole reason I'm putting it over here. Now we can get it all nice and easy to see here. So we got the pistol brace lawsuits. We got S214. I guess I'll clean this up as we're talking about it. Then I'll grab all of, let's go down a couple over here. Enter. Grab all of this stuff. So I went through the videos that we watched this week, went through a couple of other sources that we'll talk about, Instagram and some emails. Newsletters, I guess, whatever you want to call them, and then accumulated or gathered up all this weekly. See, it's trying to grab too much again. This weekly data here. However, this week I tried something a little bit different. Oh, Worthwhile Fun is out there. Good morning. Tried something a little bit different. I did some other videos this week and sort of began the updating throughout the week. So we're going to maybe gather some other video descriptions here, but let's dig into what we just pulled over from the video description of this YouTube video. Again, I'm putting them over here into Substack, which is essentially a blog. It's just instead of using WordPress or something on your own, you put it over here in this social platform, and it does some HTML editing. Essentially, it cleans things up. See how I just took that URL link right there and I dropped it into Substack, and it just immediately turns it into a clickable video preview. So it just does some things quickly for you. Another thing it'll offer is these bullet points. So I just grabbed this list of stuff that looks pretty boring in the YouTube description because YouTube doesn't let us add any kind of formatting to the text. We can't bold. We really can't do anything except put in characters. and you only get 5,000 of them if you care. There's 5,000 characters over here. I can put in as many characters as I want over here, so it can be a much larger article over on Substack or your own website or someplace else. So what we're looking at is some positive stuff. The way I've been organizing the thumbnail for the weekly wrap-up show is the stuff on the left in orange is the good stuff. The stuff in the blue would be your negative stuff, at least stuff that's being thrown out there. So the thumbnail becomes kind of a quick update. This week, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. So that's one, because I found sources that efficiently gathered it, and I just regurgitated it. But also because there's just a lot of stuff going on. I guess it's that time of year when the politicians who like you to call them lawmakers feel obligated to create laws, which is bullshit. And they should they could just as easily be tasked with removing unneeded infringements, right? But again, if we go with their narrative, they're there to create new laws all the time. So anyway, it's their time of year for doing that. So don't feel like we're under attack. It's just that's the time of year. This is the window when they do it, right? Hopefully everybody's drinking some sort of morning drink, coffee, or whatever it is you like drinking. Let us know in the comments what you're drinking. All right, so we're going to dig into the comments or the description of the video, and that's the real meat of this whole thing, but I'm just going to do it while I'm formatting over here. So welcome to non-scripted, real, focus on 2A. All right, so we got the pistol brace rule lawsuits. Excuse me. I guess I could have muted that, sorry. Pistol brace rule lawsuits. I'm going to leave it at that because everybody else is trying to hork your business with that, right? Live your own life. Be aware of what you want to be aware of. Be scared of what you want to be scared of, right? Diet Dr. Pepper. Well, I'll tell you what, you're not alone. That is for sure. No, I don't know if you're in Texas, I guess, but you're definitely not alone. I was given a Diet Dr. Pepper at SHOT Show because my throat was dying, and I appreciate it, but I can say I'm not a Diet Dr. Pepper drinker. I'm still not a fan of the diet sodas, but I don't drink any sodas. Anyhow, let's keep going. So we've got the pistol brace lawsuits. Your mileage may vary. Be afraid if you want. Be worried about what they tell you to be worried about, or let's pay attention to some other things too. So we have a Senate Bill 214, the Constitutional Carry Reciprocity Act. I'm not a fan of that. I don't think federal government should have anything to do with our state rights. So people are going to have a fit about that. But, push stuff with a 1% chance. I'm okay with that. Support stuff that has a 1% chance of going through. I'm still okay with that. Do I want this one to go through? No, it's given federal government authority they don't have and they don't need. So I'm not cool with that one. I've never been cool with constitutional carry reciprocity. It's not necessary. I understand that the states that don't have constitutional carry are frustrated by that, but you change that by changing the states' minds, and you do that through education, not by forcing the states to comply. But again, keep going. HR 3385, No User Fees for Gun Owners Act. I think that's trying to get rid of the NFA. I think so. I don't remember that one. There's a lot in this list, but there's another probably very low percentage chance, but something that's on our radar on the positive side. Illinois lost their appeals after a lower court issued a restraining order on the state assault weapons bans. Hope you're still dealing with some tummy issues. So appreciate everybody not minding if we have a little puppy nursery going on here. And if you do, then leave. I don't care. You don't have to hang out here if you don't like puppies. Let's see. So then you got Illinois losing an appeal. So the state of Illinois lost the appeal after lower courts issued a restraining order on their BS assault weapons ban. Let me spell this correctly. A temporary restraining order will stay in place and it's extended statewide. So even though Illinois is in the middle of an attack right now, we're calling that a positive right now. In North Carolina, so we're getting into some state issues if you couldn't tell. These first ones are national level. You should be aware of them. You should be able to fight multiple things at one time. So these should all be fought. But there's people out there that'll have you pay attention to one thing at a time always. Let's see, Illinois, okay, with North Carolina, SB 40, a Pistol Purchase Permit Repeal Act. Sounds good. I dig it. West Virginia, HB 2004, which protects credit card transaction privacy. So, are you concerned about the credit card companies knowing your business, who basically watch everything you buy constantly and they can anticipate what you're going to buy before you even want to buy it? And now you're all worried about it, but whatever. I'm not a fan of us being worried about things that we're told to be worried about. Be worried about what you want to be. If you're in the business and you know something bad about this, then by all means, be worried about it and tell people why we should be. But if you're being worried about something because somebody paid $30 a month to told you to be worried about it, question why they're worried about that and not important things. But, whatever, do what you want to do. We've got, I'm highlighting these since I was just talking about how great the formatting is here, so you can see what I'm doing. Making it a little easier to read. All right, so Mississippi is doing something similar to West Virginia with HB 1110, which prohibits the merchant category code, the MCC, credit card identifier, that identifies the seller of a firearms or ammunition. So in other words, the credit card companies created new categories for, I guess, firearms and ammunition separate from sporting goods stores, and everybody had a fit about it because you were told to. We were told to. And credit card companies are going to do whatever they're going to do. And now these states are saying, oh, no, you can't do whatever you're going to do. So are we worried about that stuff, or are we not worried about that stuff? A slight affronts add up. I'm not saying we shouldn't be aware, but we also don't have to stop when we get a paper cut, right? Maryland, SB 327, hunting waterfowl on Sunday. And I think that's to repeal the law against hunting waterfowl on Sundays. So, there's a lot of aspects to that. There's states that don't want you hunting on Sundays, I guess out of respect for people's thing, or maybe just because people want some peace and quiet once a week. But I don't know. Is that something that's a gun issue? Is that something that everybody needs to worry about? I'm just offering some data here. I'm not trying to get y'all upset about nothing. Let's go put a divider in there. And now we have the anti-garbage. So this first stuff wasn't necessarily all good news, but it was all positive, right? Now you have 117 gun control organizations calling for new gun control because the president's about to do a State of the Union. And, well, if they want to get advertising for free, they could sit there and do nothing, and they will get advertising for free because we have actual studies out there that show that the media will spend more time, money, and attention on violence that happens from a firearm, especially when it falls into a narrative that they're trying to promote. They'll spend more money, time, and attention on that than they do the Super Bowl, presidential elections in the United States, and war. So they could literally do nothing on the other side, and they're going to get coverage every time they need it because it's an agenda that's being pushed by multiple people on their side. It's a distraction, and it's one that we are gullible as gun owners to work as a mechanism for them. So they're a repeatable mechanism that they go back to. It's changing, but that's the reason we see so much of this stuff. So 117 gun control organizations. Do you think there's really 117 gun control organizations? I want to see how many gun-friendly organizations there are. I've listed them. Let's go over to Minuteman. And then let's go to resources, and let's go to gun owners' rights groups. Here they are. Here's a map of them, and here's them listed. There's 5 in each of these. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Should take us to 100. 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have not even 200 in all of time gun owners' rights organizations. And this includes everything from sports to regional to areas of interest to political to everything. There's doctors in here. There's teaching kids. There's everything is in here, and we don't have 200. You really think there's 100 and whatever, 17? These are just individuals who got on a list, and people who you pay $30 a month to who want to make everything sound amazing are making this sound like a big deal. So when a bunch of people who are going to do what they're going to do what they're going to do, are you going to get upset about it? Or are you going to be motivated by it? Or are you going to ignore it? I'm going to bring it up on a show and then move on. So get annoyed by the stuff that they know annoys you, or quit being annoyed by the stuff that they know annoys you. Throw them for a loop and move the fuck on. Let's win, right? Are we trying to win or are we trying to have an ongoing battle? So getting upset about this kind of stuff throws me for a loop. I don't understand why we get upset about the stuff they intentionally do to get us upset. Defend against it? Sure. Defend against it silently, effectively, ideally. Let's get on to the next one. HR 715, the Bipartisan Background Check Act. Obviously, it's bullshit. It's probably got a 1% chance. Should we be aware of it? Yeah. Should we hold it against them? Of course. Should we be worried about it? Come on, man. This is 2023. We've got more people working together for actual effective change. And if you want to get upset about every paper cut or every thing yelled at you, every barking dog as you walk down the street, you'll never get anywhere. The next one is HR 698, the assault weapons ban from Feinstein. So Pelosi's gone, and now Feinstein is going to get whatever she can get as far as acknowledgement for being a jerk for as many years as she's been a jerk. Going to get upset about that? Why are you getting upset about that now at the end of her career? You know what I'm saying? Oh, Bloomberg wrote 117 checks. Nice. That's a good quote. Oh, Krabby Turtle says Maryland testimony to the, what is GA, on Tuesday. Let me write that down. So this is the neat part about doing this live is I can go in here and grab this stuff. Thanks for that update. What's the GA? Maryland hunting and waterfowl, and then I'll do an extra bullet point and do a Maryland again. Bold it up, go to testimony and go backwards so that my equal sign isn't bolded, ideally. And then what? As soon as you tell me what GA is, General Assembly, thank you. And then I don't want to have to type nothing ever, so I'll just grab that also and put that in there. Right on. So now that's in there. Thanks for the update. Now you're talking testimony to the General Assembly on not this hunting waterfowl. We're talking about one of your other infringements. I don't think I've seen that. Oh, if puppy has an upset stomach, pumpkin is supposed to help. Interesting. I seen watermelon at the store the other day. I don't know if there's going to be pumpkins. I wonder if canned pumpkin would work for that or if that's too like salty or sugary. I'll look into that though. Thank you for that tip. I think he's done being sick, but I think his stomach is bothering him still a little bit. He's been fine. I mean, we went up on the mountain last night and he was fine, and then he was fine all night. He just started coughing a little bit or gagging or whatever he was doing right there. All right. So thanks for the update on Maryland. And let's see. So then we've got this assault weapons ban from Feinstein. Yeah, she's a jerk, right? Mr. and Mrs. America, turn them all in. That's her. She's also shoulder thing that goes up, right? If you want to go find those, let's go back to Minuteman. Go over here to firearms prohibitionists, and then you can go to gun prohibitionist sayings. And we've got all kinds of classics up here. And you've got Feinstein, our newest, oldest jerk, with all kinds of garbage that she talks about. Anyway, so can be upset about the oldest, lamest, oldest assault weapons bans or not. The last one almost got through. So it was a bipartisan effort, got almost through, got all the way to the Senate, and only ended because at the last minute they didn't need it anymore to be a distraction. But I'm not saying to blow these things off. I'm saying we should be able to attack every single one of these, resist every single one of these quietly while we champion all the important stuff. I wonder if I can change colors on this. Let me just real quickly see if I can change colors over here. I've never tried this. Code block, buttons, style. No, it doesn't look like it. All right, so getting down to another set of BS or I guess we got this one first. The HR 625, a ban on magazines. All right, they're going to keep doing this stuff because they got nothing else to do and they profit every time they do it. So we either also profit every time we get upset or get sick of people profiting every time we get upset. Or you could just ignore the stuff that's garbage, fight it, resist it, but then pay attention to the stuff that matters. That's what I'm going to urge you to do. So I'm putting these up here so that you know that they exist, but I'm not suggesting you worry about every single thing. HR 660 and S173 together are known as Ethan's Law, and I forget what those are, but they're an infringement also. I forget. There's some kind of gun lockup, I think, make you lock your gun. All of these things, when you look at the root issues on all of this, it's all unawareness. It's all people who don't know or care about guns being talked to, manipulated by people who either don't know or don't care about guns, probably know quite a bit about guns because they just happen to know exactly how to say things wrong all the time. You can't be 100% wrong without knowing 100% of the topic, is all I'm saying. It's possible to be a dipshit once in a while, but you're not 100% wrong all the time, strategically, accidentally. That doesn't just accidentally happen. So they definitely know what's going on, and they poke buttons that they feel like, they poke buttons that they know get a reaction out of us. Stop giving them a reaction. Take them out of office, take them out of their business, and then we're done. We're moving on. We've normalized guns again. So anyway, this is all sourced by unawareness. Education solves all of this. So support the organizations that educate and they create awareness. So they're doing the best work for us in 2023. We got HR 584, Stop Online Ammunition Sales Act. So again, is that going to happen? I don't know. If we do nothing, it'll definitely happen, right? But do we stop everything? You know, there's going to be, how many videos are going to be out there like, this is about the ammunition sellers. They're the only ones that care about this. This is the end of all ammunition sales online. You know, it's going to be back and forth and back and forth. And you know, you could be aware of that. You don't have to accept anything that's offered to you. We've got the internet now. You can make comments. You can make comments right in here. Don't like what I'm saying. Say something about it. Let's see. So then we have Connecticut, more gun control from the governor. I don't even want to list it all because it would have taken a lot of stuff to type, and I don't have that much room in YouTube. So unfortunately, there's a lot of stuff going on in Connecticut. The good news is Connecticut has strong people who know what they're doing. If we support them, they're going to continue to do what they're doing. Connecticut, in a lot of ways, is one of those front lines. It really is. Got Rhode Island, probably HR, I didn't do it right, or HB probably, House Bill 5300, another sate, a state assault weapons ban. New Mexico has SB 171, which would ban any semi-automatic pistol that accepts a detachable magazine. There's actually more to it than that, but what a dingus thing to suggest. So again, be upset about these things or silently, effectively challenge them through awareness. You don't just tell the congressperson or whoever it is that they're an idiot. You educate their constituents. They can no longer bring the stupid ideas to the people. We just got to educate. It's easy. Simple. Then you get Virginia. State Senate passed SB 1139 and SB 1382, which require firearms retailers to post certain signage. And there's also an assault weapons ban in there. So that's Virginia. Virginia has the Virginia CDL, the Virginia Citizens Defense League, one of the strongest, one of the most dedicated, one of the most effective, and one of the most useful state level gun owners' rights organizations out there, and they still have resistance. You don't win by having strong people. You don't win by having a good strategy. You win by understanding it's a long game, and you're always going to be in the game. You can make it easier for a long time, but you're never going to make it done. It's never going to be a finish line. Once you know that, once you pass that on to the next, the other side can never win, ever. They can't win because they don't have any resolution. They don't have any dedication to this. This is a political issue for them. Once we educate and make people aware so that guns are normalized again, this is all off the table. This is like them trying to say that water's not good for you or something. Anyhow, let's keep moving. You got the NSSF who had listed their adjusted NICS background checks for 2020 for January for last month already. The gist of it is there's a bunch of gun sales again. And, there's something there. If I had more time, if I had more interest in doing this, I would probably consider going into my position on number of gun sales and what that really means. But if number of gun sales meant number of active gun owners, would we still have all these laws being pushed? Question mark. All right, so let's go check out some comments. We're like half an hour in. Let me know. I'm going to make a poll over here, I guess. So the people listening who are here right now can answer this one. How do we end this? How do we finish, since it's a crazy morning version? Do we grab the other video descriptions, or do we head to the instant grams? All right. Or got to always put an item in here for the feds. That way, if you always put a bullshit answer in there, the people that are idiots don't mess with your poll. All right, so let's go check out the comments. Bloomberg wrote 117 checks. I think that's a great comment, and I agree that there's a lot of organizations that are funded by a very few people, and they can make themselves look real good. It's just like any strategy. You need different tools for different jobs, and when tools become ineffective, dull, or useless, you just leave them behind. And if you don't want to look like you're just carelessly leaving people behind, you create a lot of tools, and the ones that you wail on they're not as obvious, and the ones that don't get ever used run around acting like the world's perfect. So it's a pretty good scam, but it also makes it look good, and it gets people who are barely paying attention all upset really good. So 117 sounds like a lot. Sounds like that's 2 per state. Let's see. Hello. Too much pumpkin can be dangerous, though. Start with a tiny amount. He's also very tiny, so we would not want to put very much pumpkin into him. As you can see, he's now turned away from the camera, so he's definitely not interested in me saying pumpkin at all. Will mushroom burritos eat pumpkin? I don't even know it's a thing. Our new puppy is eating everything with no issues. He's a tornado of energy. Normally, this dude is very much like that. He's very food driven. I haven't seen him not eat anything. Emery's out there. Good afternoon. Or morning, I guess. Well, I don't know what time it is on the East Coast. I started this at a weird time. I was up on the mountain yesterday. We were trying to go camping, or just stay overnight up on top of the mountain. Here in Arizona, we're at 2,400 feet. Our mountain is 9,000 feet. I got up to about 7,000 feet, and there was too much snow. I think maybe 8,000 feet. The snow was, it wasn't that there was so much snow. It's just that they closed all the roads what's the word, so that people wouldn't go down the roads that had snow on them, I guess, and to prevent people from screwing with just the mountains back there. Anyhow, so we ended up we went and ate dinner up on the mountain and then came back down. So everything's all messed up. I didn't get back in time to do the show. I planned on doing the show up on the mountain because we have antennas up there, and usually you get pretty good signal if you're up on top of the mountain. New to guns, want to learn about I'm from India. Please recommend YouTube channels and ebooks. Going from a newbie to good knowledge person. Right on. So you actually have a lot of resources. Obviously, India is a big place. You've got some amazing museums there from, I don't know, I'm assuming princes or something like that. People who are those sons of royalty, and they created massive palaces that are full of munitions from the sword and cannon days to now. And man, those are neat. So you can really experience some neat stuff. I think I've seen them on YouTube. So I'm assuming you can go in there. But unfortunately, it seems like India is really behind the curve on their firearms awareness. And I don't know if it's some kind of manipulated thing from the socials that just only show us reckless stuff, but there's a heck of a lot of reckless stuff coming out of Indian videos. But man, I wish I could tell you. There's about 3 or 4 channels that are firearms channels that are either Indian people in the United States or from India, but they just didn't last. I'm still sub to them, but I don't see them show up on my feed. So that either means they're not posting, or Instagrams decided that I don't need to see things anymore. So I don't know the names of them off the top of my head, and I have too many channels that I'm subscribed to, but you'll certainly find them. You will find good firearms channels from India or in India. Worthwhile fun. Awesome channel on Instagrams. I keep a current list of all firearms-related bills. Oh, yeah, you're in Missouri. Filed in Missouri if interested. Thankfully, the bad ones won't go anywhere in our state, but they keep filing them. That's awesome. I would definitely like to help you with that as far as getting the word out if you're putting the time into it. It's easier said than done. It turns out, even though you have good intentions, you can't just like materialize a whole bunch of people to help out. So we will eventually rebuild the Every Second Matters website into a giant sports book. I was at the let's see if I can find a picture of it. I was at the it's called the what the hell is it called? It is called the West. What the heck is the name of that casino? The West. Is it called the West? What's the name of that casino that we always go to? I have to put in Las Vegas Antique Gun Show. I'm trying to think of the name of that hotel. Westgate. Come on, man. So I'm going to type in Westgate Sports Book. FYI, there's not that many buffets in Vegas anymore. One of my favorite buffets back in the day, and it's back in business, is the Westgate Buffet, and it's right next to this sports book. So this is what sports people do when they're betting. I'm going to try to open this picture bigger. So this picture here is a picture of the sports book. So all the bettors go down here and look at the boards. And then up here, this is a really bad picture. This is during a sports game. But normally all these screens up here, there's not this giant sports going on. It's just a bunch of this stuff. It looks like a stock ticker or something. It's just nothing. This is a really bad picture, actually. Let me find a picture where there's way more going on. So this giant room, really, that's all the pictures there are of it? Lame. Here's what it looks like with nothing on the screens. It's just all fake, but that's how big it is. It's like this big giant room with all these screens, and essentially every sports that's happening in the planet at that moment has got a score up there somewhere. I don't know how to read it, but you can tell that they've got like every sports up there. Like I said, it's a really bad picture because it shows giant TV screens, and they don't do that often. They only do that during the Super Bowl or something probably. So mostly it's just so that everybody can bet on everything. But that's what I want to build Every Second Matters into, a thing that just literally just displays all the current data so that it doesn't have to be fancy. It's just all the current data. Right now, Every Second Matters is just a dead husk from back in the day. But yeah, once I can get that up and running, I'll actually be dependent on folks who are in states to keep the areas up to date. Anyway, that's another project. Let's see. We're going down the list. HR could be House resolution. Oh, okay. I don't know enough about the differences or the definitions, I guess. Good morning. Normally do this in the evening, trying this in the morning. This will not be a regular thing. We already have a show that we normally do on Saturdays, so I'm just cramming this in. Washington State SB. Oh, here we go. Let's grab that one. Washington State SB permit to purchase bill was supposed to be heard Thursday, but has been pushed to next week. Okay, thank you. So we're going to put that in here also. All right, I'm putting that under bad because it's bad, but this kind of makes it seem like it's already happened or something, and I don't really want to convey that message, but I'm putting it in here. Thanks for that. I knew Washington had quite a few things. I just didn't, the things that I had looked at didn't make it clear how, what was actually imminent or what was happening. Finished with a song? I don't think so. Don't think dogs even like pumpkin. There's pumpkin in a whole bunch of dog food, so I know that they'll eat it. Well, like this dog, when he's not sick, he'll eat anything, I think. So I'm sure this dog would eat a piece of pumpkin. I had a piece of tomato that fell out of a sandwich, and he like picked it up, walked away with it, and it was like almost ate it before he figured out he wasn't going to eat it. I just picked up my license to carry right on. But I'm confused. I thought Massachusetts had a 10-round capacity, but my license says large capacity accepting more than 10 rounds. Well, I don't know the nuances of every place either, but Toby will be back on Tuesday over on Grace Curley's show, and then on Wednesday on his show. I definitely go there. He's going to know right off the top of his head, how to clear that up. Icing on the instant grams? I don't know. Are you talking like you put your instant grams into a toaster and then you put the icing on from a separate thing? Or is it some kind of, I don't know, painted on icing that barely gets warmer if you put it into a toaster? Kind of depends. Let's see. I don't need an Indian channel. Anything will work. I'm just trying to get knowledge, and we don't have anything here. We have to get police clearances for getting a revolver. Yeah, I understand. At least I think I understand what it's like. You don't have like a culture of it, but as far as learning from outside the culture, just keep in mind that we all have our different familiarity with firearms and stuff. And this country, in particular, was a result of firearms in a lot of ways. It was the mixture of the German and English and other types of firearms that were melded together to become the first American rifles that allowed us to outperform the British and pull our sovereignty out of that system, the colonial system that the United States was able to pull out from, and then lead the rest of the countries in the planet who decided to do the same. So firearms created that ability, and it wasn't lost on a country that was then exploring a new, fairly unexplored continent with lots of critters and people fighting each other for 140 years. So we've had firearms as part of our culture. Of course, we come in and take out the bad guys twice during World Wars because of the 1911 and some other guns. So we're comfortable with them. We're not afraid of them. And whenever somebody's comfortable and not afraid, they can have fun and they can enjoy them. And other people who are afraid and uncomfortable can't understand that we can have fun with them. So it might be a culture shock to some extent, but dig in. And I would say just beware, just like somebody might like music and they can have fun with it. Somebody might have fun with music and get to the rude or obnoxious or vulgar. And you can do the same with guns. So have some fun, but try to keep a perspective. And if it seems like it's too weird, then you don't have to stick with it. Find something else. There's plenty of options out there. But I tell you what, if you want to be a big channel, if you want to be a channel, talk about firearms in India. There's not a lot of people talking about that in English in the United States. So that might be an interesting channel topic for people. DM Foss is saying Indian Gunner on Instagram has an interesting channel. He shows guns and a little range footage, guns you don't see in the United States. Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying. In other countries, they've had access to guns and they've kept guns around that we just never had. And don't be worried about being born in other countries. You have the opportunity to change what's going on where you're at, right? Or to have influence where you're at. It's neat to see what other countries are doing, but buy my first, everyday carry is a knife, but I get you. You're going to go buy your first gun today. I won't need that, but just confused. P.S. Pumpkin for dogs is good for loose poops. Okay, well, this dog likes to poop. He likes to let loose poops, so that'll be good for him. Let's see. We had many historical events with rifles, especially the something mutiny based on the Lee Enfield. I know that you've got a couple of AKs too that are interesting. All right. Well, so thanks everybody for commenting. Let's go over to the poll. It looks like most people don't want to do anything and the other two are tied. So we'll just end it. I don't need to fight nothing. If nobody wants to chat, we don't have to. So that was the beginning of the thing. I'll just do the rest of it off air and I'll consolidate the comments from the other videos and then post them here below this on, what is this, Substack. I always want to call it Spreadshirt. Over here on Substack. And then that'll go out as a newsletter. So if you want to join our newsletter, feel free. And it'll also go out over on Patreon, which is what we consider our blog. All right. So with that, thanks everybody for joining us. Chicago Mike's out there. Good morning. I'm doing good. Hopefully everything's going well on your end. Got a chance to go up on the mountain last night. Go up to, like I say, about, I don't know, I think I got to about 7,000, 8,000 feet. And then hung out there, figured out that none of the campgrounds were open. We came down, ate dinner, and came down the rest of the way. I didn't get home till maybe 10:30, 11, and I figured instead of doing the show last night, tired, I would just sleep in and do it after Travis did his show today. So, tell you what, since it's happening on a Saturday, I would normally say listen to Travis in the morning. He already did his show. Um, uh, Mike White is saying, haven't missed half the show, missed the whole show. Yeah. The show is only a half an hour. Well, I guess it went almost an hour. Basically, we just went over this stuff. Me complaining about all this stuff. I've been pushing it over here to Substack, so you'll be able to check it out over there. I guess I was also going to say that next up would be, how am I going to do this? Go over here, open link, a new tab. If we, I don't think he's going to have it posted yet, but soon you'll find the Polite Society podcast, the weekly bullet, will be posted. I don't think it's posted yet. Is Travis still going? So Travis is still going if you want to go check that out. And they haven't posted the Polite Society, but I think he said Tony and, okay, I know Tony's going to be on. So 2 other people are going to be on with him. You also have a brand new combat story. It looks like dude from SEAL Team 4, founder of Zero Eyes, is on. And I always look forward. In fact, I'm listening to last week's right now, which is a Top Gun pilot and the founder of the Top Gun Foundation. A whole bunch of pilots have chose suicide. So there's a foundation to battle that by a Top Gun aviator, one of the guys who was trained to be a bad guy for the Top Gun training program. That's the one I'm listening to. That was last week's. This week is this one SEAL guy from, looks like, Afghanistan. And awesome podcast. Definitely worth listening to. Otherwise, then we'll be back at noon for Ask Gun Questions. I haven't set it up yet, but I invite Tony Simon and Clover to join us and we answer gun questions. We haven't done it in a while, so or at least we've been BSing usually the last couple of shows. So we'll go in to actually address some questions today. And then, I don't remember, did G23 say he is doing a show today or not? Otherwise, later on this afternoon, I don't know if it's already set up, so I'll try to find it. We've got a Polite Society, a Great Start Shooting School. Now I'll get it right. We'll be doing the Suicide Prevention Saturday project. Definitely worth checking out. I see DJ is out there. Please let Brooke know that I need to talk to her as soon as possible, sooner than later. She called me while I was sick the other day, and I haven't been able to call her back, but that worked out pretty good. So it looks like the one for tonight is 10 hours from now. That's so weird. I guess it's early in the morning. I didn't realize it. So later on today, check out a weekly effort to offer awareness of suicide prevention, mental health awareness, and having more effective conversations with the actual people who might be struggling with the people on our side who maybe don't see the power in this tool. And then, of course, the assholes on the other side who use suicide deaths against gun owners on a daily basis, most of the time without even understanding how horrible they're being as far as people. Just horrible stances are being offered to people. And Brooke offers, well, she doesn't really attack that end of it enough, but she offers insight into how to have more effective conversations with people. Anyway, check it out. Let me drop a link to that. DJ probably doesn't. He doesn't get around to dropping links that often, so I'll make a quick link here to it. But I'm just kidding. Thanks, DJ, for dropping a bunch of links. Anne Marie's out there. DJ had just subbed. Always good. Chicago's Mike is asking, how's the dog feeling? He's doing better. He was up on the mountain yesterday running all around. He's pooping. He's eating. but he coughed a little bit this morning, but he's had a pretty good last couple of days. I think he's coming out from under it. Don't know if you can hear him snoring under there. We can wake up. He's pretty tired. I guess he ain't waking up. Oh, here we go. There you go. There you go. How you feeling, puppy? I think he looks better, doesn't he? So I think he's doing better. Let's see. All right. So thanks everybody for your interest in the little puppy. He is doing better. Also, I guess I should have mentioned we have. Let me open that up real quick. We have a project going on over at the Indiegogo. So Indiegogo is one of the crowd funding platforms. It allows people to create a project and to get a bunch of people involved. In this case, we're trying to buy a robot sewing machine off of our friends over in California, Allen Anchor. So they've got a machine that can do patches and hats and sew embroidery onto like shirts and things like that. So they're sick of it, I guess, and they're willing to sell it to me. And I've been wanting one of these things for a long time. I've had a single color robot back in the day and made all kinds of patches. We'll be posting different videos and stuff of some of the stuff we've created over the years. But that single thread or the single color robot is just super slow and boring. It's lame. And then I broke it, literally wore it out using it too much. So this one is a professional unit and it does 15 colors right away. And it's too much for them, I guess. So they're willing to sell it to me. And, you know, I don't have $7,000 to buy it with. So I'm starting a $7,000 project that's going to require 140 people to get on board. So, I should be probably showing it instead of showing the puppy not being interested. Puppy could almost care. I feel like the puppy could care less about the sewing machine, really. But anyway, we got this project going. It's $7,000, but that means 140 people. So 140 people on the planet have to have some interest in what would happen if I had a massive sewing machine robot. If you can help spread the word on it, that'd be awesome. I only need to find 140 people. We already have 12. That brought us to 8% of the goal. It brought us to $600, which already meets the first goal. So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to be drawing a patch later on tonight or today. And that'll be, I'm thinking of something like a spy versus spy with these two dogs in it. So it'll be a patch with the two dogs in it. I guess the top or the subject has yet to be determined. And then that patch will go out to our patch guys. So it'll be a rubber patch. And the first $500 of this project is going to be getting that patch made. And everybody who participates will get that patch. The next pile of money will go towards getting a replacement for our old robot. And if that's all we get, then fine, we got a replacement for the old robot. But the goal would be to hit that $7,000. So if we can find 140 people to get on board, we get that new robot. We start making out custom patches again. A whole nother planet full of custom patches. So if you want to see that future, share the project, jump on board. You got about a month. It lasts until the end of this month. Our goal would be to get these patches in sometime next month. To get the machine, we have to go over to California and get it. The good part is we get to go over and check it out while it's still working, while it's still together. And then they're going to show us how they work it and stuff. Then we'll take it all apart, bring it back here, set it back up, and start making patches on it. And then hopefully, just as the PVC ones show up, we'll be making a whole bunch of ones, and we can send everybody out a bunch of patches. Oh, and then also you'll get a bunch of SHOT Show stuff too. So hopefully it's not something that anybody's having to feel ripped off about. However, if it's too much cash, then don't participate. We only need 140 people, but do share it. You know, you never know. You might share it to somebody who likes it and they share it to somebody else who likes it. And then you helped us get 2 of those 140 people on board. All right, with that, we'll end this one. We'll normally live on Friday nights, and we do Ask Gun questions on Saturday. So thanks everybody for accommodating us for the Saturday morning show. Let's talk about Anne Marie's situation here real quick. So let's see. I don't know what Susan was replying to, but worthwhile fun is saying, Anne-Marie, hopefully there's places you can rent some pistols to shoot before you decide. Sometimes feeling good in the hand doesn't equal feels gun to shoot. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that because I'm a dude or whatever. So thanks for saying that. But I don't know. Has Anne-Marie gone to Cape Gun Works yet? I know you said you were planning on going, but you can rent guns there. And that's part of the reason that places will have a lot of rental guns, a large fleet of rental guns, is so that you can try different ones. But, you know, a gun is an L shape or the shape of a 7 or something. And the way that physics work with your hands and your muscles and everything isn't the same with everyone. You know, somebody who has to wrestle a 90-pound dog around on a leash has a stronger forearm than somebody who has a tiny little 20-pound dog that they don't have to carry around with their arms ever. So it's just, you know, we have different lives, so we have different hand strengths and grip strengths and stuff. So don't let anybody tell you what you like. Don't buy 9mm. Go to the store, shoot a bunch of stuff, and then buy a Glock. And don't let anybody tell you what to buy. All right, with that, we're going to end this one. And seriously, if Anne-Marie would like to do a chat, a serious chat on just talking about what firearms, once you've gone to the store and looked at them, feel free to let us know. We'll definitely go live and do a chat where you don't have to be in the show. You can just text if you want, or you can join us live. And once you've explored some, we'd like to talk about there's a couple of things to be interested in my opinion, on a carry gun, a daily carry gun, is its use. Like, will it work? Is it durable? And is it reliable? And if a gun is brand new, how can you tell me it's reliable? If a gun is brand new and it's just hit the market, how can you tell me it's not going to fail? There are guns that have been out there for decades and decades. Then you've got comfort. And I don't mean comfort in your hand or comfort when you're shooting it, but 99% of the time the gun is on you. So not having a bunch of goofiness and not having a bunch of wiggles and shapes and spikes and little things hanging off of it that look neat isn't great when it's jamming up into your guts or jamming up into the side of you or jamming underneath of something. And then if you can shoot it, that's third. It has to work. It has to be effective. And then you got to be able to carry it around all the time. But there's lots of people that just like to see accuracy. There's lots of people that just like to see it lay on the table next to their other stuff. And then there's lots of people that just will do whatever somebody else tells them. You got to be careful about that. All right. So with that, I'll say thanks again for joining us. Everybody who's been interested in the plight of the puppy, who I didn't get to take to SHOT Show because everybody was a jerk about it and I couldn't afford to bring him. And then I left him here and then he got sick and now he's been sick for 2 weeks. So if I would have brought him to SHOT Show, he wouldn't have got sick. I'm just saying. Just saying. So next year, he's going to SHOT Show. It's okay, puppy. That's cousin Feinstein. He's coughing because of Feinstein.